Hi there everyone, JCM45 here with your review of Transformers War for Cybertron Earthrise Starscream. Real quick, we'll take a look at the packaging. Got your standard War for Cybertron packaging, very similar to the Siege packaging you see, except it says Transformers War for Cybertron Earthrise. You got some pretty nifty art here, got some pretty nifty art on the side. The new Transformers Earthrise art. On the back of the packaging, you have some promo shots of Starscream here in his alt mode and his robot mode. Down in the bottom, you have legalese, all the stuff nobody cares about. On the top, Transformers War for Cybertron Transformers War for Cybertron. And then on the bottom, here is your bottom and your UPC. Alright, taking a quick look at the figure itself, you have Starscream here in his Earthrise glory. He's clearly based off of the G1 look from the original 1984 cartoon. He is a completely different mold than the Siege Seeker mold that we have seen numerous Transformers, numerous bots of. He is completely new. He seems to be very similar to the old Chug figure, just upsized to a Voyager scale instead of a deluxe scale, and he looks pretty good. Let's take a closer look here. He's got some nice red paint here on his chest. We'll take a look at the face real quick here. He's got a nice Starscream-like face. I like it a little bit better than the Siege mold, but I would have preferred to still see the light piping. I don't believe he has any. I haven't been able to really see that he has light piping himself. We can take a look at that a little later. We have his null rays here. They work pretty well. They seem to be very similar to the Siege ones. His chest piece is pretty nice, very nicely detailed. Lots of clean paint there. Down below here we have his legs, all still clean, very nicely detailed. On his back here we have some kibble. We have his nose cone up here from the top. That is for his transformation, obviously. But that is not too bad. Otherwise, it is actually fairly kibble-free. Also from the front, we can take a quick look. You can see the Decepticon logo there on his wing. And yeah, so let's move on to the next part of the review. Alright, going over articulation real quick. We have a ball joint at the head. It can look up about that much. He can look down about that much. He has some nice wobble there. And you can rotate it a full 360 degrees. Moving on to his arm, his shoulders can articulate that much. They do move fully 360 degrees around. If the wing weren't to get in the way, you can move it to get it out of the way. His elbows move to about a little bit above 90, not too bad. The null rays are on a swivel, so you can move them around like that. There is a bicep swivel there, so he can turn there. There is no wrist swivel though, however. No wrist swivel. I'm very unfortunate there, a little disappointing. Also a little disappointing is there is no waist swivel as well, so he cannot twist like his Siege brethren at all. Moving on down to the legs, we have it can move out about that much, it can move back about that much. He's got a decent spread there. You can get him almost to do a full splits. He's got a thigh swivel, can go full 360 degrees. His knee can go a little past 90, a little bit, not too much. His toes, they also can move, and that's due to transformation, so you can get his toes to move a little bit. And then he has a nice, generous ankle tilt. Okay, moving on to transformation. So please bear with me, guys. I'm sorry, I'm new to reviewing. This is probably going to be my only review since this is going to be the first one of it, and I'm not good at transforming on camera, so just bear with me. Here we go. So, to start off, let's pop off the null rays. We do not need them for the transformation, and we will put them off to the side. Next, we will rotate the arm up, line it up completely flush here, and flip up the blue assembly like so. And then we will need to straighten out this peg here. It does move and it does need to kind of go forward, so you'll work that in, and as you close it up, it should lock into place like so. And then you flip up the front wrist and it should look like that from the front. So you do the same for the side, other side rather. Straighten that out, pop that in, fold that up, and sometimes it catches weird like that and it'll fold strange, so you do have to be careful. It is kind of a weird little process. And then there we go, flip up the wrists. Arms are done. Fold them back down. Next, we will take the nose cone, flip it up over Screamer's head, and peg it in, like so. Moving on to the chest. To remove the chest, you're going to have to kind of pull up on these panels here and kind of work the shoulders out. It is a little tricky, and it is a little tough the first time you do it. So just bear with me while I do that. And I got one side out, there we go. And you kind of have to work the shoulders out like that. And then once you do it, you can pry it open. Come on. There we go. Almost got it. This is a pain. I'm sorry. There we go. And now the arms are, the chest is free. The arms can move out of the way, and it folds open like so. Next, you'll take the entire front nose section, you'll pull it out like so, and you will rotate it around so it's facing this way, and you will line it up with this assembly here, and click it into place. Next, you will fold in the arms, and you have to be very careful to line these up perfectly because the chest will not close back up correctly. So you fold it up like so, and like I said, you have to line them up completely perfect. It's a little tricky. And as you can see, I did not line them up right. It is a little tricky here. Come on, there we go. And there you go, you just lock up the chest there at the top, and the arms are nice and tucked away. Moving on to the legs down here, you're going to want to pull in the ankles a little bit so you can get clearance here and rotate this back fully. Over here on the side, there's going to be some tabs. You just line up that blue tab with that slot, click it in. Do the same for the other side, and it's locked into place. And then fold down his leg, or not his legs, his tail wings right down there. Clip his two legs together like so. Flip up the front skirt, and flip down the knees. Next, you're going to fold the knees, or the legs up into place, and line it up with the tabs on the back like so. These are a little tough and they do require a little bit of force, but once you get them, they should line it. They should pop in. Don't forget to fold up the toes to complete the rear engines. Once the legs are snapped into place, like I said, it does require force, and they do kind of pop out a little easily on mine. Once that's done, all you need to do now is the wings. And to do the wings, you rotate them like so. And then you fold. I did notice that this wing pops off rather easily on mine. It does pop right back on, so it's not a big deal. But it is kind of a pain. So it is what it is. Once these are rotated, all you got to do is flip them down into the assembly like so, and then line up the pegs with the holes and click them in. And you have Starscream's alt mode. I did forget to mention, when you are closing the knee panels back up, they don't actually peg into anything, they just kind of sit here freely. To lock them into place, just don't forget to drop the front skirt back into place, and that will lock them in. So here we have Starscream's classic F-15 Eagle alt mode. It is your standard F-15 Eagle mold. It is pretty cool looking in my opinion. Taking a closer look, you do have decent amount of detail here on the top of the jet. You have his Decepticon logos. You have some cool looking paint on his tail right here. His feet form the thrusters like so. And you can peg his null rays into the bottom for missile, to make them look like missiles or weapons. On the bottom, it is a robot. I mean, this is pretty much what Starscream looks like in most of his transformations, is jet top, robot bottom. Jet top, robot bottom. So it is what it is. I actually really like the way this alt mode came out. I'm a big fan of jets in particular, and F-15s are also ones I really enjoy, so this is really cool for me. I really enjoy this. I do like it compared to his past mold. Or past modes, excuse me. And last but not least, we will go over comparisons. So first of all, we will take a look at Starscream compared to his Siege counterpart. As you can see, he's just a little bit taller, a little bit bigger there than his Voyager counterpart. Very similar size though, just a little bit taller it looks like. Next, we will take a look at Voyager class Siege Megatron. They look great together. Next, we'll take a look at the Voyager class Siege Optimus Prime. Very nice, very nice. Next, we'll take a look at Leader class Siege Galaxy Optimus Prime. A little bit better shot there of the two of them. Yep. And then Siege Sideswipe. Deluxe Sideswipe. And then Siege Ratchet for the larger deluxe size. And so there are your comparisons. And overall, I'd like to say I really enjoyed this Starscream. He has a really nice alt mode. His articulation is a little bit lacking in comparison to the previous Siege release, which I'm not sure if they could have improved that or if they had to make compromises for the alt mode. I'm not sure. But for me, the alt mode more than makes up for the lack of articulation. I love the F-15 Raptor, or F-15 Eagle, excuse me. It's one of my favorite planes. I love it. It's great. The aesthetic for him is really nice. It's nice in G1 if you're into the G1 aesthetic. And I do like his bright paint without all that battle damage that was on the previous Seeker molds. Some people like it, some people don't. That's your thing, really. But I really like this. This is going to be my Starscream on my shelf, and he's great. I love him. So that's your Transformers Earthrise Starscream review. I'm not really a big like or subscribe kind of person, so do whatever you feel like. And enjoy the review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks.